You are perfectly imperfect. 3 steps to unapologetically owning who you are by Megan Fenyo. We are going to come back and talk to Megan right here on this episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. So don't go anywhere. Grab a friend and stick around. Hey, 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 welcome everybody to another episode of Love My Body, Love Myself. I'm your host, Alicia Couri. And today's show, we are going to get unapologetically radical about who we are and know that we are enough. I am talking to the founder of the I Am Enough movement, Megan Fenyo, today. And that interview was pre-recorded, so I'm going to share that with you in a moment. But before I do that, I do want to tell you, grab somebody to watch this show with. We are talking mental health. We're talking about surviving and thriving after domestic abuse. We're going to talk about, she's going to get really candid about her struggles being a licensed clinical therapist and going through domestic violence herself. So you're gonna want to stick around to hear about this. And then she wrote the book Perfectly Imperfect, because I don't know that there is a woman that hasn't asked herself whether or not she's enough. So welcome to those of you who are watching on Facebook. Hi, for those of you on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the YouTube channel is youtube.com/C/Alicia Couri. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for those of you who are on LinkedIn, hi, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment. Please share your comments with us. If you find that any of this information is valuable, or you have some ahas or insights, please go ahead and share a comment with us, and I will put you up on screen and let's have a conversation around those comments of yours. If you'd like to connect with me, you can connect with me on all social media platforms that I'm on. Just go to alicia360.com and you can connect with me there. So like I said, this episode is parts of it is pre-recorded. So we'll, during the recording, if there's something that pops up, if someone leaves a really great comment, I can break in and just start the conversation there. This episode of Love My Body, Love Myself is sponsored by Alicia Couri Inc. and it's sponsored by Dare to Lead with Linda. Dare to Lead with Linda is she's launching a program called Awaken the Leader, and it is a phenomenal 16-week program for women to learn or to develop their leadership skills even more. So she said this is the most exciting work that she's ever done in her 40 years as a leadership trainer. And so I would really, really encourage you to go to that website. It's bit.ly/ATL 2021-2. Yeah. So go to that link and you can book a call with Linda. She's giving out a free consultation. Book a call with Linda. Talk to Linda about it, because it sounds like a phenomenal program. So now that I have shared all of that with you, I am going to bring up the episode with Megan Fenyo and share our interview, because it was really, really, it was so phenomenal. And Megan is a friend of mine, so we're gonna have a good time doing this interview. So here we go, and Megan. Thank you, Alicia. So my guest today, as you have probably already heard, is the most amazing Megan Fenyo. And I've known Megan just a couple years, but she is such a dynamo. And let me tell you a little bit about Megan, and then I'm going to bring her on to talk about you. But before I bring her here, I want to ask you, have you ever asked yourself the question, am I enough? And that's what we're going to talk about with Megan. So Megan is an Air Force veteran. She's a licensed clinical mental health therapist, LCSW, TEDx speaker, two-time best-selling author, host of the Blonde Bombshell podcast and I Am Enough TV, and founder and CEO of the International I Am Enough movement, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And I am super excited to bring to the show Megan Fenyo.
Hi, beautiful. How are you?
I am wonderful. And I'm going to show this picture of when we first met.
Yes.
Look at us.
That was such a great weekend. It was amazing.
I know. So we were both at the same pageant, and you know, we're tiny girls. So tiny girls had to stick together.
Yeah. You were like my girl the whole weekend. Like literally, I don't think I could have gotten through it without you. Like it was so much fun. Like and just getting to know you and everything. It was amazing.
I loved meeting you, and I could not believe your story, which we will get to in a moment. But we want to first focus on mental health and mental health of women, especially. So, in your practice, do you see a lot of women?
Yes, I would say probably 80% is women, and I've been a therapist for 16 years. So yes, I see a lot of women.
And what is there a common theme or that in mental health that women are experiencing that you've noticed?
Honestly, you know, I see patients for all different ranges, but a lot of it honestly has to do with our mindset and what we say to ourselves. So 90% of the women I see struggle with this negative mindset and the limiting self-beliefs, and they don't realize how that is connected to maybe their depression or their anxiety or their sleep issues or their trauma issues. So it's literally all about what we say to ourselves.
And do you feel like there's a mental health crisis, especially coming out of COVID, for women?
Yes, I think so much. I think the pandemic, you know, caused a lot of us to kind of reevaluate who we were, whether it be because maybe we lost our job or we were at home and it was just like chaotic and you're like, I don't know what to do. And then you go back out into the workforce, or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom or whatever. I think one of the biggest things was kind of redefining who we are ourselves during this pandemic. Because I think a lot of people did a lot of self, you know, improvement work during that time. But I think a lot for women, especially, you know, women with children and that kind of stuff, I think that because the kids were home all of the time, 24/7, they were mom, they were teacher, they were, if they had, you know, another job or whatever.
They were everything in one space.
Yeah.
Had no delineation of their, who they were being. It was all clumped into one, jammed into one all at the same time. And I know that statistically women did suffer more during the pandemic because of that exact situation. And as things started rolling back out, a lot of them had to stay home still because their kids couldn't go to school, and they were the parent of choice, even if they were married. I'm not just talking about single parents, but if they were married, they were the parent of choice to stay home. And how does that mess with your mental, your mental health and how you even just feel about yourself?
Well, I think there's a key piece to that is putting everyone before yourself. You know, I think, you know, stay-at-home moms, and I don't have children myself, but I know with a lot of my patients that I see, it's that concept of I have to put myself first. And there's a lot of guilt that comes along with that. And so during the pandemic, I think so many women were literally taking care of so many people and so many things in this house, right? Because we were all stuck in the house. And it was like, I can't take care of myself, like, because that means I'm going to have to like not do this or not do this for my kids or my significant other or what have you. So that's always been a huge problem, is putting ourselves first. And so definitely during the pandemic, I think it got even worse.
Exacerbated.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for overwhelmed, overworked, burnt out women who can't find the time to love their bodies and love themselves, that they can at least start baby stepping into that direction?
Yes. Well, there's always time. And one of the things in my first book I write about is the I'm too busy mindset. It's so important to get out of that mindset. And one of the tips that I always tell people is to get a planner. I know this sounds crazy, but not a planner on your phone, but like I have a planner, and it's called the Law of Attraction Planner. And I have like erasable pens that I love. And because when we're so busy, we think that there's not enough time in the day. But when you schedule everything, so on Sundays, I do what's called Schedule Sunday. So I meal prep, and then I look at my schedule and make sure that, I already have appointments in there, but make sure that I have time in there for self-care. And so when you actually see, like on a planner, I always recommend like a 30-minute planner where you have 30-minute intervals. Like you can see, oh, wait, I actually have 30 minutes here, or I have 15 minutes here, instead of always thinking like you don't have enough time in your day. Because the important thing is, even if it's 5 minutes, 15 minutes of self-care, whether it be, deep breathing, closing your eyes, taking some deep breaths, meditation, whether it be, just, repeating some affirmations and doing some like visual coping skill work and all of that stuff. That doesn't taking a nap, right?
A 10-minute power nap.
Right? Like that kind of stuff doesn't take hours and hours. And so that's what I really tell a lot of my patients is get something you can visually see as a planner, knowing that, life can happen. And that's why I love erasable pens. And
move things around, be flexible with it.
Exactly.
For people who are very schedule oriented and rigid, that works. And for people who are flexible, it can still work, because it's just about creating structure and order to something. And you can still move the chess pieces around.
Exactly. Because
not set in stone.
Exactly. Like as a parent, you make schedules for your children. For me, I don't have children, but I make my schedule for everything that I'm involved in. So if I'm making a schedule for work, or you're making a schedule for your children, first and foremost, you got to make a schedule for yourself. And that includes whatever that includes, 15 minutes of self-care, 30 minutes for a walk. You've got to make that a priority.
Yeah. And it's so funny, because that's why people used to laugh at me when I did my 6-minute runs in the morning. 7 minutes, however long it takes. And that's my self-care my thing in the morning. And I hate when people schedule me for a meeting at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, because that cuts into the time that I want for myself. So I always say, can't make it, can't do it, because that's my run time.
Yep.
And so I'm like, I start business at this time. Not gonna do, and once in a while I'll do an early morning, but you have to be consistent with it and stick with it, and create a boundary around it, because you do matter, and taking time to care for yourself does matter. It matters for your mental health, right?
Oh my gosh, 100%. And I love that, because it's okay to say no. Like there's so much guilt, I think, that us women have when we say no to like an early meeting or something. And it's not the end of the world if you're like, I can't do that because I have to do my self-care. Like there's nothing wrong with saying no. There's nothing wrong with putting yourself first. And I think that that's super important for people to remember and to remind themselves of that every day.
Because I was a flight attendant, and it's so people drown it out. They drone it out when you're saying it, that you put your oxygen mask on first before you help someone you're with. It's become so like, yeah, of course, but then they don't practice that in real life. Like, this is your oxygen mask. Like,
Mhm.
taking care of yourself will help you take care of everybody else. And I don't know how many different ways we have to say it for people to start getting it, that it's not selfish to
Exactly.
make sure that you are okay. There are too many women burning out, dying early, getting sick, getting diseases because they just take care of everybody else. They're the martyrs of the family. They have to do everything for everybody else, and it's time that we stop that epidemic, because it
Mhm.
is an epidemic of the wrong mindset around self-care.
Exactly. Totally.
There
Couldn't have said it better myself, girl.
that's why we're sisters. So so I'm going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, because I want to leave time to talk about your own struggles, Megan, of and why the I Am Enough movement even came into being, because you were struggling with your own mental health and your own self-worth, your own self-love, and I want to really dig into that. All right. So when we
All
come back,
right.
we're going to take a quick break. The Love My Body, Love Myself show is sponsored by Alicia Couri Inc. and produced by Red Carpet CEO. I am going to break into this just for a second because I see so many beautiful comments coming in. I put some of them up, but I'm just going to put it up again. Yes, taking care of yourself, reduce your stress, and improve your heart health. Thank you for sharing, Dora. We appreciate that. Kimberly, thank you. Love you too, powerful, heartfelt women. Love you too, Kimberly. Thank you. Bernadette says, putting yourself first has to become a habit, and habits are formed by practice. So true, Bernadette. And Dora, you said that that's your story. Now you make yourself a priority. That is very powerful. And thank you for sharing those thoughts. Really quickly, I know our interview went, it's going to be a little bit, but I did want to read this from her book before I go back into the sponsored section. And she talks about in Perfectly Imperfect that one of the tips, 3 steps, one of the steps is being radical, it's called radical. Let me see if I find it again. Radical acceptance. Sorry, radical acceptance. And so I want to read this when I come back before she gets started again. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with the stream. Oh, Alicia Couri Inc. is a boutique consulting firm that specializes in developing audaciously proactive leaders and teams using brain science and people data to get results. For more information, you can visit our website, aliciacouri.com. The show is produced by Red Carpet CEO. If you would like a copy of Age with Audacious Confidence, please go to our link tree, which is linktr.ee/acoury, and look for Age with Audacious Confidence. So let's go on and get back to the show. And we are back with Megan Fenyo. I'm your host, Alicia Couri, with the Love My Body, Love Myself show. And I am just super excited because Megan walks her talk. She really, really does. She is the founder of the I Am Enough movement. And that was birthed out of your own pain and suffering, Megan. So take us back to when you were not enough, or you didn't
Mm.
feel like you were enough
Oh
to birth.
goodness. I mean, I think I underline always struggled with that concept of not being enough. I have a learning disability and was told never to go to college because I was never going to graduate college. I have an 8th grade reading level and 8th grade math level. And so I think, and now I'm a licensed therapist in 2 different states. And I think that
And
kind
Air Force vet.
and an Air Force, yes, an officer in the Air Force. So I think that kind of started, as a young child. But it
Yeah,
really
I hate when they put labels on you like that from young, that you're never going to learn, you can't do this and you
yeah,
can't do that.
it was crazy. And
Mhm.
I was lucky enough where when my guidance counselor in high school told me that I didn't use that as an excuse and didn't just, not go to college. I kind of
Mhm.
used that as my motivation, which I was very lucky because that doesn't happen a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle. I mean, oh gosh, school and learning has always been a struggle. It still is. But I think I never said those words like I'm not good enough. Those
Mhm.
words actually started coming out in my vocabulary to myself when I was married. I was involved in a very narcissistic, abusive marriage.
Mhm.
And like I said, I've been a therapist for 16 years. And I always say, like, this does happen to anyone. And it doesn't matter. Like, I was a therapist and I still married a narcissist. Um,
Mm.
and he had an affair for pretty much our entire marriage and literally called me, crazy, insane, delusional. He never told me I was not good enough. Those words, he never said, Megan, you are not good enough. But I started creating that thought, I'm not good enough, in my head
Right.
based on his actions and his behaviors. And it didn't just stay that I'm not good enough for him. It, like, I catastrophized it where it was, I'm not a good therapist, I'm not a good friend, I'm not a good sister, anything. And so for years, I was just going through the motions, acting like everything was fine, but I was
Wow.
dying inside.
Mm.
And the last, uh, you know, violent issue happened in 2018, and I walked away from him. I had also lost my job. I was working at a hospital here as a therapist and was making, six figures, and lost that and walked away with him all within 4 months. So
Mm.
here I am at 38, had to file for bankruptcy, literally lost every sense of myself, and literally could not get out of bed in the morning. I mean, I had never lost a job. You know, I hadn't even started processing what I was involved with my ex-husband because I didn't even understand it. Like, I
Mm.
literally thought it was my fault. I literally thought everything was my fault.
Well, you see, my coach says this all the time, that even the sharpest knife can't carve its own handle, and you can't read the label from inside the jar. So even being a therapist, helping women through abusive situations, seeing it every day in your practice, in what you were doing, you could not diagnose yourself. You could not diagnose your situation. You could not see what was happening to you.
You're so right. I literally had two patients I was seeing in that year where where the divorce was final and everything like that. And I still didn't get it. I actually did not get it until I started writing my book, which I had started writing like about a month after I walked away from him, but I did not realize the narcissism, because even as a therapist, like, we know narcissistic personality disorder is a cluster
Yeah.
B personality disorder. Like, I knew all of that, but it wasn't until I actually started doing research that I actually got it. Cause he used to call me a narcissist. Like, he would
Yeah.
call me that. Right. And then
Gaslighting all the way.
I remember like writing that part in the book, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, oh my word. Oh my gosh. But it wasn't, I started writing and then I didn't get out of bed. And so for me, that was kind of like my therapy. But then for so long, I had no motivation, no nothing. I mean,
Mm.
I didn't know what I was going to do work wise and all of this stuff. So I remember I started writing on a sticky note that what I believed about being enough. So I remember my first sticky note I wrote in 2018, and it was like I had it right by my bed, and it said, I am enough because I'm getting out of bed today. And that's where I started. I literally
Mm.
started. That was my first ever note to myself. And that stayed on my, my bed, what do you call it? Your
The
nightstand
dresser, you're right, the nightstand.
for many, many weeks. And then I got myself into my own therapy. So I got a therapist and started doing the really difficult trauma work. And then I also started writing. So I never expected my book even to become a book, but it did. So as I started, yay. As I started kind of repeating this phrase to myself, I was reprogramming my subconscious mind, right? I was what we call cognitive restructuring my thought process so that I actually started believing it. And months and months and months, I was able to create new statements, right? Like new I am enough because statements, ones that I actually believed. And it was like this amazing, like, turn of events. And then obviously the book came out, and that was just amazing because it was the first time I had ever shared my story in my book. I kind of hid behind, how everything looks great and all of this stuff on social media. And when I pressed enter on Amazon for my book to go live, I kind of had like a small panic attack because I was like,
it's like, oh my God, the world's going to know.
Everyone's going to know the craziness, everything, but it was the best decision I ever made. And
that's the thing. I just want to pause on that a second, because we all live in our own little cocoons, and we think everybody's judging us. Everybody's going to hate us. Everybody's going to think that we are somehow not worthy of love anymore if they know our flaws. And that's the opposite, because when people see not your brokenness, but they see that your humanity, and they see that you do struggle and you're working your way through things, and you're surviving, and and your story is my story, and I went through that too, and I see where you are now, and it gives me hope for where I could be. We can't keep silent, and we can't suffer in silence. We need, and this is why I'm doing this show, and I thank you so much, because I know when I reached out, you said, well, I'm not doing interviews anymore, but I thank you so much.
Not anymore. I'm just taking a little break.
I know, you're taking a little break from them, but I appreciate
girl,
you.
Anything for you, because I adore you. I absolutely adore you.
Thank you. But yeah, this is what it's about. It's about sharing our oneness with each other. It's sharing our common experiences, because I am my sister's keeper, right? I am you and you are me, and we have to uplift each other through our common experience. I don't have, it's not the same experience, but we've all felt the I am not enough. We've all felt the unworthiness. We've all felt that at some point. And so through our stories, we're able to share how we were able to overcome that. And yours is a great example of how you're doing that. And I'm sorry that I broke into your
You're totally okay.
You can remember
I'm just like looking, and I just have to say, I'm in San Diego and it looks super dark. But can I just say, like, we are having our first thunderstorm in like years right now.
Oh, what?
And it was really sunny when we started this interview, and now, like, I noticed that, like, my background
the light,
super dark. But I realized, and I just heard thunder, so I was like, oh my gosh, so sorry, so random. Sorry, random thought right there.
Okay.
Us San Diegans get really excited when there's rain and thunder.
When there's rain, because you don't see it
ever. Okay, sorry. So let's go back.
So, you were talking before, and I broke in about.
Okay. Yeah, I think, I was talking about sharing my story, and, the only, like, I never really got any backlash. And it was literally, I met such incredible women and men, as I started speaking around the country and all of this stuff, and literally started meeting like men and women that literally like shared their stories of where their struggle was, and thanking me and all of that. And so, it was such a great experience for me, and I wanted to give back even more. And as a therapist, I talk a lot about the power of visual coping skills. So like how I wrote on this sticky note for so many months about I am enough because I got out of bed today. I wanted, and I had been practicing, teaching simple. Patient. I know, but we don't think about it because
it's so simple.
We think about okay,
You
we've
have
got
to do the big grand thing to be in.
yes.
It has to be a big grand thing.
Yeah. And we think that sometimes, oh, we can just change our thoughts by thinking about something else. That doesn't work all the time. And
Because it
so
doesn't change the belief that you are that is so
exactly.
deeply ingrained. Yeah.
Exactly. And so sometimes we need to distract our mind with something that we visually see or visually read, which is where the sticky note thing came into play. And that literally, for however many seconds or whatever, stops your brain from that negative thought because you're reading something, you're seeing something. So I came up with this idea for visual coping cards and had no idea what was going to happen with them. And I'll show them to you right here. So this is the card.
Yeah, and I have mine. I should have
I
had
know
them. I knew you were coming.
you have a shirt, you've got a brace, you got everything.
I got the bracelet. I got the shirt. I'm like, I'm seeing you in your shirt. I'm like, why am I not in the shirt? Why? What?
Because it's red. Red is your color, girl. Red is your color. And so here's the coping card, and on the back, it's going to be hard to see. Oh no, you can see it. It says the word because with 3 lines. And so I just started like handing these out to people. People started ordering them from our websites, the I Am Enough Movement website. And within 9 months, these cards had reached all 50 states and 22 countries, which means that people just organically heard about the movement, you know, from either interviews or people sharing it.
Yeah.
And people started sending me pictures of them holding the I Am Enough card. And so I started putting them on our, you know, movement Instagram, and it was amazing. It was like, I never expected. And these are absolutely free. Like you guys can still go to the website and get
order them
for free.
And I encourage them to do it. Go order these cards.
So it's been 2 years, because it was February 2019. So it was exactly a year after I walked away from my ex-husband. And then February 2019, so it's been 2 years. I literally still get card orders at least 3 times a week. Yeah. And I still do it. I still like hand write the envelope. People are like, do you have someone? Nope, it's me. I like put the cards in there, a little thank you card. I hand write the envelopes. So for 2 years, you know, we're still like spreading this message, and it's so amazing.
Beautiful message. It is a beautiful message. This
is the thing, is like you get on the back. And so anytime that you have this thought that you're not enough, you start reading it, right? Because it distracts your mind from that negative thought. So I've got, this one sits on my kitchen counter. I've got one in my car. I've got one in my bedroom. I mean, they're all over the place, right? And I just grab them whenever I need it. Because even though I am kind of known as like the I Am Enough girl, I'm human, you're human, your viewers are human. Even though we may believe that we're enough, we're still going to have
we still have it.
With it.
It never goes away because we have a brain. Exactly. And it will never go away. It's like confidence, you know. I'm the confidence, I'm the audacious confidence one, you're the I Am Enough girl. Yeah. And it's not that I don't ever have like I'm always up here with my confidence. No, I have my 7 secrets to audacious confidence, like you have your steps, and you have your cards. And I have to revisit them sometimes when I'm heading into a situation, because your confidence does this all the time. And so when you're down here, you need to know what do I need to do to get it back up there? That's the key. That's what we hold. That's the keys that we hold, is to help you when you're down there, get back up on top.
I always say you need a lot of coping skills in your coping tool belt. So you got a tool belt, and you need a lot of skills. So maybe it's visual coping skills. Maybe it's a breathing technique. You know, maybe it's a meditation. Like, you need all of these things, because this may not work for another negative feeling you may have, right? So you got to have all of these different options and practice them daily, so that when you do find yourself in this negative space, that you can say, okay, well, this is what I need to do right now to get out of that space.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. How can people join the movement, be a part of the movement, and what else do you have coming up?
So the movement is now a 501c3 nonprofit. We are currently raising money to build an emergency shelter and transitional living home called Freedom Haven here in San Diego. But we have a huge vision to like make freedom havens all over the country. So we're currently raising money right now. You can go to IamEnoughMovement.info. There you can get your free cards. You can also get a t-shirt. These are $25. Or you can also, and you can get I don't have the bracelet on, sorry. It's an I Am Enough movement. It just says I Am Enough charm bracelet. You'll see pictures on the website. Those are also $25 with any donation, or you can just purchase them. So all of the money goes right to the movement. So we're really excited about that. Things have been a little slow with COVID, but you know, it is what it is. And so again, IamEnoughMovement.info.
Yes, we'll have it going across the screen.
Yes.
I really, you know, I love everything that you're doing because it's for others. Like, you went through your struggle, you went through the pain where you couldn't get out of bed, and instead of continuing that and just getting a job and continuing to do whatever you're doing, you are helping other women recognize that they are already enough, not become enough because they were already enough, but to recognize that. And I think it's such a beautiful thing.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. You're rocking it, girl, like always. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. And yeah, we met. And just a little story too is, you know, during that pageant, we keep reminding ourselves that we are enough, because we're in a pageant, you know, and sometimes you look around the room.
Are you going to tell the story about the towel?
I'm not telling the story. If you want to tell the story, you can tell the
story about me. Like, you have to, because it literally goes to show you. Oh my God, I'll never forget. You got to tell the story.
All right. So yeah. So, you know, you look around the room and you're sizing up your competition, because it is a competition. Let's not, you know, fool ourselves here. It is a competition. You're sizing up and it's like, and it's so funny because Megan and we were not in the same category, but the young woman that was in the category with Megan that they put next to walk on the stage was like 6 foot tall, and Megan is
4'11".
4'11", and she's like, I don't think my shoes are tall enough. I don't think I have tall enough heels.
And I literally, you guys, and Alicia like helped me so much. I was so in my head, like, I can't walk next to her. She's beautiful. She's so tall. Like,
she's so beautiful, so thin, so tall. It's like, oh my God, I can't do it. Put me next to somebody else, please.
And mind you, I hadn't won yet, but my platform was the I Am Enough movement. So all of the girls there knew I was the I Am Enough girl.
And I went to you and I said, you're the I Am Enough girl. What are you talking about? Of course you can walk together. Pull it together. Pull yourself together. I have some platform shoes. I will lend you my shoes.
You totally gave me shoes. It was amazing.
And I gave her my shoes. I actually forgot them up in my room. So I had to run up to my room before evening gown and get my shoes so she could walk in the shoes that were 6 inches.
A little bit taller.
Made her a little bit taller.
So amazing. But it's like, that's what you need, right? You need your girlfriends to say, my roommate says it to me all the time.
I loved you the minute I met you. I loved you the minute I met you, Megan. Like, we were like, yeah.
You were. It was awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having my back that night. And always, you always have my back.
And then the song was playing and you were crying and you were behind me.
I lost it. Okay, so the theme song for the movement is This Is Me from Greatest Showman. And then we're literally in practice and we're on stage, and then all of a sudden they start playing This Is Me, and all of the girls are looking at me, and you're standing right in front of me.
I'm ready.
And I was bawling. I was just like,
and I'm like, Megan.
I think everyone during the show, the actual show, I could tell, like, I think some of the girls were like looking out of the corner of their eyes if I was going to start crying when this. Are you going to
cry? Are you going to cry? Is she going to cry?
I'm not going to cry. I'm not. But oh my gosh,
such a wonderful experience. It was such a wonderful experience being there and meeting you and getting to not compete against you, but compete with you.
Exactly.
And it was so much fun.
It was. Thank you. I know it was such a great weekend, and you were probably one of the best blessings that came out of that whole weekend. So
No.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And you are one of the reasons I came, is to meet amazing women. I got a crown, but I also wanted the experience of meeting all these totally amazing women. And I'm so glad to have you in my life. And listen, if you're listening to this interview, watching us together, and you feel in any way that your self-esteem is low or you're not enough, reach out to one of us, reach out to Megan, reach out to me. Let's encourage you and lift you back up, because if you're breathing, you're alive, you are enough.
Yes.
You're
Amen.
enough because you're breathing. You are enough. All right. And so before we close out this interview, is there anything else you wanted to share?
I mean, I think this was a great interview. So okay. I think it's been amazing. And,
but you have a new project with Modere.
I do.
And just mention that really quickly.
I know. So I'm excited. I started a new business venture, a side hustle, because I do see patients full time. And I reached out to you. Did you get your products yet?
I did. 2 days ago, I started taking it.
It's amazing. So I've always been in the health and wellness business. I used to be a bodybuilder, all of this stuff, but I'll make it short. I was in a really bad car accident 2 years ago, and I haven't been able to work out as I wanted to. And I'm 42, and I could just see things sagging in places I don't want it to sag. And I started hearing a lot about collagen, and I didn't know a lot about it. So my roommate and I did some research, and we got some powder collagen, but it tasted not good. Yeah. And so we kind of stopped taking it. And I know a lot of people that are in the Modere business, and I have had a lot of friends that have reached out to me, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm like, nope, I'm not even gonna learn, but I'm good. But then I started doing more research about it, and it was at the right time, because one of my friends reached out to me again, and I was like, you know what, send me the information. And I had also gained some weight from the accident. And so my roommate and I looked at the stuff, the difference between powder and liquid collagen and the absorption rate, and then the other products that they have. The other one is the trim and the Traybiotics, which I had never heard about Traybiotics, even though I had been in the workout world. But so we jumped on it 8-9 weeks ago. My roommate has lost some poundage. I've lost 4 pounds. And we're just doing collagen, liquid collagen, and it tastes amazing. I'm flooding my body with Traybiotics. This amazing body foam. Oh my gosh, I cannot even tell you guys. I did before and after pictures. Amazing. It has collagen in it. And I'm not even joking you. I am not a huge person about I want to see it work and this and that. Yeah. But this body foam is freaking amazing. My roommate and I use it 2 to 3 times a day because we're addicted to it. I've never found something that actually tightens so quickly. So you guys will have to check out my before and after photos. But it's been really fun, because I'm kind of taking a little break just from interviews and all of this stuff. Both my roommate and I work from home, so it's hard for me to do interviews when she's in her bedroom and, at the end of the day.
Right.
So, and we just kind of wanted to get healthier and jump on the collagen.
And that's the thing. That's the number one thing, is to get healthier. Yeah. Weight loss comes. I had a guest a couple weeks ago talk about, when you do the right things for your body, the weight comes off.
Exactly.
Because it's not about really going on a diet and trying to do all this stuff for a short period of time. It's doing the right things for your body, and your body responds, and the weight will come off.
I'm so happy you said that, because I don't believe in diets. Yeah. I believe in healthy eating, but I do love wine. But it was what I think I was missing was this gut health piece, right? Learning about gut health. And that's where the Traybiotics
come in.
And I think that that's been really helping me absorb, because that's what happens when your gut is not healthy. It doesn't absorb
the nutrients
things that you're putting into your body. So I've been doing prebiotics for like 8 weeks, and I can tell the difference, honestly. I think that the good stuff that I'm eating is finally getting absorbed. So
Yeah. Because
it's
it
been
just
a lot of,
passes through if it's not absorbing and you're thinking, but I'm eating healthy, but what is, because you're not paying attention to all that other stuff, your
so I
gut
do
health.
want to offer something to your listeners. So reach out to me if you're interested in learning more. I have so much information I can give you, and you will get $10 off your first order.
Yeah.
So reach out to me either on Facebook, just Megan Fenyo, or email. It's super easy, megan@meganfenyo.com. And I'll provide you with all the education and all of the good stuff. So thank you,
Yeah. Read up yourself.
Alicia, for bringing that up, because I completely forgot about it.
I know, because this is about loving our bodies and loving ourselves. And if we can do the right things for the inside of our bodies, we will love it even more and it'll love
Yes.
us back.
Amen.
So yeah. So I wanted to make sure you shared that as well. So thank you, Megan. What a
Thank
great
you.
show.
I love you,
And
girl.
I love you too. So I am back. I am back. I really enjoyed that show. I hope you did too. And there were some great comments that came through. Thank you for sharing your comments with us. And I tried to put them up when they came in. And again, I just wanted to share Megan's book. It is You Are Perfectly Imperfect: 3 Steps to Unapologetically Owning Who You Are. She has other books, but this one, where she talks, where I was saying before, there's a part in here where she talks about radical acceptance, about anger. And she says, I need to be angry to protect myself. Radical acceptance can seem very risky to emotionally sensitive people. Anger, withdrawal, and resentment can seem like armor to protect yourself. You may be seeking safety from the person who hurt you. Perhaps you forgive too easily and forget that someone behaves in certain ways, so you get hurt again. So she was talking about really releasing the anger. Um, you may, on this page, it says, as long as you stay angry, you don't feel as vulnerable. Feeling sad and hurt can make you feel quite vulnerable. And so she gives us some tips of how to release the pain, the anger, insecurities, in her 3 tips here. So I would suggest go to her link tree. I go to her link tree and check out her books on Amazon. Anyway, this was a really great show for Love My Body, Love Myself, with Megan Fenyo. You know, October was Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I didn't get to fit her in October, so I thought first show in November we will do something for domestic violence awareness. And go to IamEnoughMovement.info, order your cards, check out the things that they're doing. If you can donate to the halfway house that they're building for abused women and children, that would be awesome. But go check it out and connect with Megan. It's at Megan Fenyo or at enough_movement_ on Instagram. So I just want to share again our sponsors for today. So today's show was sponsored by Alicia Couri Inc. and Dare to Lead with Linda. Dare to Lead with Linda. She just launched a new program. It's called Awaken the Leader. And if you go to bit.ly/ATL 2021-2, if you go to that bit.ly link, you'll find out more about the Awaken the Leader program, all for women, teaching women how to be more effective, stronger leaders, using who we are as women to lead. And there's a link there if you want to book a call. She's doing a complimentary call with you. You can book a call with Linda to find out more about the program. So I encourage you to do that. Check out Awaken the Leader and share that out with someone else. So that's our sponsor for this show. And one more thing I wanted to share is that our book, here it is, copy of the book, anthology. It's called Rise Up: Women Who Lead, Building Legacy. Has been released. The book is now out there. It is live. It's been released on paperback. So you can order your hard copy of that book now on Amazon. So you can go to my link tree. It's link dot. I keep getting that wrong. It's linktr.ee/A-Couri. So if you go to Linktree, A-Couri, the link to buy that book is there as well. So you can go to my Linktree and get that book. Thank you so much for joining us today on Love My Body, Love Myself. I look forward to seeing you again on a next episode. And take time, please take the time to take care of yourself, because self-care is not selfish. It is your obligation. So I'll see you next time. Love you. Mwah.